some other points from social life. So, what about the tribal conflicts? Because there are various clans, so obviously they also fought wars. Yes, all the war was fought for the cow. Cow is the most important thing for early Vedic people. The growing need for pasture lands and cattle contributed to an increase in inter and intra-tribal conflicts and warfare. That means in a same tribe, there can be war between two groups, and war also can be between two various tribes. So first one is inter and intra. Inter-tribal conflicts were frequent, and example being the battle of the 10 kings mentioned in the Rigveda. This is very important. There was a battle fought between 10 kings and a clan named Bharat. The exact word was used in the Rigveda for this battle was named as Dasa Ragya battle or Yuddha. That means battle of 10 kings. Thus means the 10. Ragya means the Rajan or Raja. Okay. And this battle was won by the 10 kings versus Bharat clan king Sudas. Obviously, Sudas was born in this battle, and that's why our country is also named as the Bharat, and later this became Bharat. Okay. So this is very important. This was a very important battle mentioned in the Rigveda. But in the later Vedic phase, situation changed. Now they are fighting for the acquisition of land. Early Vedic period, their priority is pasture land for their cattle. Their priority was cattle, but in later Vedic, priority was land, territory. Okay. So I hope you note this word, the Dasragya battle or battle of 10 kings, which was won by King Sudas, who led the Bharat clan. Noted? Yes, sir. Somashekar, Tejashri. Okay, good. Now, as I told that everything is based on the cow. Cow, that means that is named as Go in Sanskrit. Cow is named as Go in Sanskrit. So that various terms also started from this Go. For example, Gotra. Maybe I used some. Give me a second. See, first we have to go with this stanza, and then cow is very important for early Vedic people. Okay. So each and every terms generally started from the word Go. Go means the cow, the Sanskrit name of cow. The Rig Vedic hymns provide vast evidences of the significance of the cattle in Vedic society. The word Go, Sanskrit name of cow. Name means the Sanskrit version, which means cow, is the root of many other words. For example, Gomat, Gopati, Gavyuti, Godhuli, Duhitri. I will explain one by one. Gotra. So, who owned many cattle was referred to as Gomat. That means he have lots of go. Okay. So you also heard a word Godhan. Godhan means the capital of cow. Okay. Then conflicts and battles were referred to as Gavishti. Gavishti means the battle. For which purpose? To conquer many cow, or to conquer any cow, lot of cow from any other clan or any other tribal group. Then the army is named as Gausena. Gausena means the army who expert to catch the cow. Gavyat and other terms. Then the king or chief is known as Gopati. That means the head of the cow, or one who protects the cow. Then another very important term is named as Godhuli. Godhuli is a term used in the Rig Veda for a measure of time. Which time is Godhuli? Have you heard this word Godhuli? So the sunset time, the time of sunset, was named as Godhuli, when generally cow, uh, yes, make the comments. Do you hear the word Godhuli? During the time of sunset, that means in the evening, 4 p.m., 5 p.m., when cow came back from the pasture land in their residence. So that particular time is not known as Godhuli. Why? Because at that time, when thousands of cows were walking from that particular way or any way, so the dust was flown there. Then Gavyuti, that means distance. They also measure the distance in the with the term Gavyuti, not kilometers. Gavyuti. Okay. Duhitri means the daughter of any person. The literal meaning of Duhitri, one who milk the cow. You can see a lady milking the cow. So she named as Duhitri, daughter of any person named as Duhitri. Kinship units are labeled as Gotra, means the family or the clan is named as Gotra, as I told you about the Bharat Gotra. Still, we use this word Gotra generally in the Hindu people. Now, we start from here. So, yes, conflicts are for the cows here, here for the territory. Gotra system in early Vedic society, no such system was prevalent, but in later Vedic, Gotra system was developed and slowly became rigid and more rigid. You can see Gotra developed in this means that people having a common Gotra descended from a common ancestor, and no marriage between the members of the same Gotra could take place. At present time, this is very debatable topic, that is this good or not. I am not going in this debate. Do some homework with yourself. Then what about marriages? How they make marriages? So in the early Vedic period, marriage was typically monogamous. That means generally people have only single wife. Some of prominent or chiefs practiced polygamy. That means more than one wife. But in generally, the normal practice was monogamous, single wife. But in later Vedic period, the polygamy became in the more practice. People married with more than one woman. What about the social groupings? So in the early Vedic period, occupation was not based on birth. Varna means, the literal meaning of word was color, was used to distinguish between Vedic and non-Vedic people. While in the later Vedic period, the division of social groups was based on occupation alone, and society was still flexible, where one's occupation did not depend on birth. Then, what about religious beliefs? This is very different from the present and very unique also. At that time, that means in the Vedic period, there was no present time gods were mentioned in the Vedic text. That means generally the gods which are worshipped presently in various religions, either in Hinduism or any other. So at that time, no mention of Lord Shiva or Lord Vishnu or Brahma or any other. So the gods are different at that time. They are Indra. Indra was the most prominent god of that time. His name was mentioned in the Rig Veda more than 200 times. Second prominent god was Agni. Agni was known as the mediator between human and the gods. People perform yajna and they thought that Agni is mediate between God and them. Then third most important god was Varuna. Varun means the god of water. The Indra is also known as Purandar. Known as Purandar. Purandar means who destroyed Purandar means destroyer of forts, who break the forts. Obviously, Indra destroyed the forts of enemies on the prayer by peoples. Then other important gods was the Mitra. Mitra means the sun. Dayus, Pushan. Pushan was the god of animal. Pushan was the god of animal. Then Yama, Yamaraj. Maybe you heard about the Yamaraj. Soma, etc. All are male gods. Obviously, there was no female god, but they worshipped various female goddess who represent various forms of nature. For example, Usha. Usha means the goddess of dawn, the sunrise. Saraswati. So still we worshipped Saraswati as the god of, as the goddess of education, music, etc. Then Prithvi. Prithvi means the Mother Earth. Though they are less prominent than these, especially Indra, Agni, Varun. These three are most prominent god at that time. In the later Vedic phase, so there are some new gods now who worshipped, for example, Vishnu, Rudra. Rudra is a primitive version of Lord Shiva, who were minor deities in the Rig Veda, rose to prominence. That means in the Rig Veda period, they are yes mentioned in the Vedas, but they are not any major god. They are not worshipped. But now they are worshipped and became prominent god. Indra, Agni, they became less relevant. Pushan, here the god of animal who used to protect cattle became the Shudra god. Now, why they became the Shudra god? That means now the society became divisive. Society is divided into varnas, and that's why the people who served the cattle, so the god of cattle or animal Pushan became the god of Shudras now. Okay. So this is the discussion about Rigvedic gods. Now, what are their rituals? How they make worship? So first of all, there was no idol worship at that time. That means there was no idol of any these of gods, either Indra or Agni or Varun. As well as there was no worship place like temple. There was no worship place like temple or any other type of building, that means monastery or any other thing. Okay, so what are the rituals? So the rituals are yajna, or also word used sacrifice in various history books. uh, in the Veda, the word used yajna or yajna. In Sanskrit, this is wrought as yajna, or also they pronounce yagna or yajna. Generally people pronounce it as yajna. Okay, have you heard about yajna? Or uh, in these days now, a common uh, version of yajna is known as havan, etc. So at that time, yajna was the most prominent ritual of these early Vedic peoples. Before any work, before start any work, either agriculture or any other thing, even before for war also, they perform yajna. In sacrifices, hymns and prayers were recited. Hymns which was mentioned in the Rigveda, and these yajna were typically performed by priests. As I told, the hotra word is mentioned in this text. I just showed you. Agnihotra, then again Agnihotra, Agni, है ना? So these hotra performed the yajna. These prayers were recited during yajna. The sacrificial ritual also resulted in the expansion and development of knowledge of mathematics and animal anatomy. Why mathematics? Because when they developed their that specific place for yagna, so these yagna, or you can see this thing is known as yagna vedi. Yagna vedi, yagna or yajna is the same thing. Yagna vedi means the platform on which they perform the yagna, and this yagna vedi was constructed in various shapes. This can be in the square shape, this can be in the hexagon shape or octagonal shape. It means if they can develop these platforms or vedis in various geometrical shapes, it means they are aware, very well aware about the mathematics and about the calculations. So obviously these yagnas are important platform or rituals which develop the knowledge. Various intellectuals are uh, concentrated on that particular place, and they shared their knowledge about these various things. What about in the later Vedic period? So in later Vedic period, important yagna named, there are three important yagna. One is named as Ashwamedha, second was named as Vajpeya, and third was named as Rajasuya. Ashwamedha was to expand your territory. Maybe you heard about Ashwamedha Yagna in Ramayana as well as in Mahabharata. When uh, Lord Rama became the became king again after the Vadh, or after killing the Ravan, he performed the Ashwamedha Yagya. Ashwamedha Yagya. So at that time, the king released a horse with their army, with their flag, and horse, the army moved from one territory to another and to another and to another. When the horse passed any state or territory or tribal group, that means now they accept the sovereignty of that particular king, and now they are under that king, and they have to pay tribute and taxes to that king. If any king was against this, so they have to protest and they have to catch that horse, and then they have to make war with that army. If they defeated, now they have to pay tribute or taxes, and if they won, so Ashwamedha Yagna was not performed. Okay, so this is a type to uh, make less wars and to expand their territory. Okay, good. Someshwara and Tejashi. So these are three important yagna. In the early Vedic period, there is not any description about any name of the yagna. Then the important point, toward the end of this period, a strong reaction against priestly dominance over the complexities of the yagna led to the formulation of the, just I explain, at the later or last phase of this later Vedic period, these yagna became more expensive, and now they are not in the reach of common people or even average people. They are controlled by the priest. Priest demand more and more dan in these yagnas. They told about many rituals which are very expensive, and that's why the common people make protest against these yagna. They react against these yagna or against the priest, and later these orthodoxness, this rigidness became the reason to downfall of the Vedic period and to upliftment of some new religious sections. And from these new sections, two religious sect became more famous, named Jainism and Buddhism. So this is the basic reason. I hope the religious structure of these both periods also clear.